Hi, I'm Deborah Birnbaum, the president and editor-in-chief of TV Guide magazine, and it's my honor to be moderating our annual Fan Favorites panel. You know, planning this panel every year is like playing casting director. I guess the best analogy is like assembling the dream team for a little movie called The Avengers. Maybe some of you have heard of it? I get to sit back and think, what would it be like to talk to TV's greatest vampires, werewolves, crime fighters, and more? That's the magic of our fan favorites, which all began here at Comic-Con. I know a few of you have heard me tell this story before, but for the newbies out there, once upon a time, I was sitting out there with all of you, hearing you all scream and shout and cheer like you just did for your favorite shows, and I realized I wanted to give you a voice. That's when I decided to let you, the fans, pick the cover of the magazine, and give myself a week off in the process. The first year, Supernatural won the cover. The second year, Community won. And last year, Doctor Who took home the prize. We'll be holding the competition again this December. Don't forget to vote early and often. It's your votes. Speaking of covers, we've got some great covers for our annual Comic-Con issue. Supernatural. I just have so much fun doing this. Superman and Batman. And Arrow. Of course, you can pick them up at the Warner Brothers booth or at newsstands after Comic-Con is over. So let me introduce this year's fan favorite panelist. He's held down the law in LA, had some sex in the city, and been the president during a very strange event. Now he'll be showing off a new set of wheels at NBC's Ironside, Blair Underwood. I'll just recite some numbers. 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42. He'll always be destined to us, but now he's got a new number, the 100. He plays Counselor Kane on the 100, Henry Ian Cusick. She's the best female hacker on TV with the knack for a well-placed wisecrack. Emily Bett Rickards, who plays Felicity Smoke on Arrow. He's the most dangerous man on TV, whether he's Breaking Bad or staging a revolution. Giancarlo Esposito plays Tom Nelson. She's the vampire with the best lines and the best costumes on TV. Kristen Bauer plays Pamela Switford de Beaufort. And he's the werewolf with the best body on TV. Have we lost Tyler? Don't come between her and her katana. Denai Guerrero plays Michonne on The Walking Dead. He's the reason the Avengers saved the world. If only they could have saved him. Producer on television, from The Tomorrow People to the originals to The Vampire Diaries, and she also gives good Twitter. Julie Plack, the executive producer. And he's the hybrid who's so hot they had to give him his own show. originals. One for the whole panel. Joseph, let's start with you. What show on the panel would you like to be on other than your own two? Let's put it that way.
The Walking Dead. Absolutely. I'm a huge fan of that show. I think it's great. I followed it from the start, and I read all the graphic novels, and yeah, I think it's great. So definitely that. And it shoots in Atlanta, so it'll be convenient as well.
I can see you as a crazy car.
Yeah, there you go.
And Julie, I know you already write 3 shows, but if there was another show you would write?
Oh, The Shield, of course. I would for free sit in the room and absorb the wisdom of Joss at any opportunity.
I can make that happen. For me, it would be a toss-up. Girls on HBO. I want to be one of them. Or Bob's Burgers, which is the funniest.
Oh God, there's so many, but I think there's a bit of a science geek in me. I think I want some Breaking Bad.
Are we saying on the panel or just in general? Anything?
Pick anything.
Oh, I gotta go with Game of Thrones. It's my
Deadwood is my favorite show ever. I would have loved to be on that show.
For me, it'd be a toss-up between Arrow and Game of Thrones.
I just finished Scandal Season 2, and it was unreal, so I'd like to work with Kerry Washington.
Game of Thrones and Breaking Bad.
I have been lobbying the producers of The Walking Dead to just be a zombie.
He's too handsome, it won't work.
So, Joseph, congratulations on getting your own spin-off.
It's well. I mean, it's amazing, Who would have thought they should have killed me a long time ago.
We're glad they didn't.
I know.
But I think one question fans are going to have is, where does this leave things with Klaus and Caroline?
I must say, I'm surprised to have a question about that today.
Are you then?
Yeah, I mean, look, we've been all but promised crossovers between the shows, and I think there's always been a sort of metaphorical ocean between them, and now they're just a little further apart. But Klaus is a man of culture and refinement, and I think possibly it can start with a letter or two penned in his fine hand, to her, and we'll see how it goes. I mean, look, there's always hope, right? I would assume. I think you're asking the wrong person the question.
Julie, what would you have to say to that question?
I would like to write a letter in your fine hand as well, sir, I think for sure. I mean, we would never have had him make such a declaration as, you might have had your first love, but I intend to be your last, if we didn't intend to at least follow through with that a little bit.
Good lines.
It was, yes, it was. I didn't write it, so I can give credit where credit is due.
How do you balance your 3 shows?
Well, they've just begun, and I am still alive. That's my answer as of today. In a week, they may not be alive, and then we'll know.
And how are things working out on the original so far?
Things are actually great. On the Vampire Diaries, we have the luxury of staying at the end of a season and spending a whole month breaking stories further ahead for the next season. And on the originals, we made the episode, we finished the episode, we got the series order, and we started like 5 minutes later, and now we're shooting in a week. So we're very, very, very busy, but very excited about how rich and full and gothic and sexy and really emotionally powerful the world is shaping up to be.
Well, we can't wait to see it. So, Clark, I know the SHIELD panel has already happened and screened for the audience.
Some of them are still here.
So can you tell us a little bit more about Phil Coulson's fate?
I'm afraid that I cannot. We certainly, I mean, I guess some people here know more than they can talk about. I guess we find out some, I can't talk about it. You know, I was dead on the carrier, on the helicarrier, and then I got a call saying, "Yeah, it's the comics, you might not be 100% dead." And, okay. You were dead! And at the same time, I thought that was kind of an important part of the Avengers, as Joss did, that, you know, it's not a place where there aren't consequences. So I wanted to know how he could be walking around in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. pilot and not have it undermine anything in the Avengers. And when I heard the kind of complexity of Joss's take and the fact that we learned something in the pilot, but it really kind of, everything we learn opens up a whole other series of questions, I was instantly on board.
What's it like working with Joss Whedon?
It's my new favorite thing, and I mean, I didn't like it so much when he was killing me. I like it a lot better when he's bringing me back to life. But I was sitting backstage here, about to go do the panel for Thor. This is easy now, okay? Because I was a big fan of Buffy. This is cheap, I'm gonna stop. As if I could just say Firefly and you could... And he said...
You're setting the bar high for the rest of you guys.
I'm so really sorry. And he said, you're gonna have a big part in the Avengers. That was an accident. Anyway, so I did the Avengers with him, and then when he was supposed to be on a break, we went to his house and we did a movie of Much Ado About Nothing. I'm going to pass to the next question.
Tonight, good luck following that.
I'm just going to say Norman Reedus, Norman Reedus, Norman Reedus.
So beautiful.
So how does the next season find Michonne? How hard is she going to take Andrea's death?
Well, I think it's interesting because at the end of the last season, they were estranged, but they had that one moment where they got to reconnect just before Andrea passed. And the one thing she said to her was, you know, it's good that you found them. And I think that it makes it even more solidified in Michonne to commit to this group, these people. And you know, she knew she was on the right track, but that was a blessing from a friend that she'd lost and that she was losing. But you know, Michonne is a loner, and Michonne likes her alone time, and she likes to do things on her own. And so it is a struggle to actually really be a part of a group she wants to be a part of, while she still has those very, I gotta go do stuff on my own instincts very much alive. So you know, she's kind of grappling with that a little bit.
Will she and Rick finally trust each other?
Oh, I thought that happened. No? I feel like they bridged that. I think she chose Rick. You know, Michonne chooses her compadres. So she chose him, and it was just a matter of him catching up.
As it should be. How much does the governor have a target on his back?
You know, there is some unfinished business there. there's definitely some unfinished business, and what's exciting is that, you know, as was said, I can't say anything, but you know, what is exciting is that the way that he, you know, how and when and if he does reemerge is nothing anyone can predict. So that's pretty thrilling, even to be a part of it, and also just to have read the script. So I was like, wow, the writers are really outdoing themselves this season.
Oh, looking forward to seeing it. And Tyler? So we're finding Derek in an interesting place this season. I think we saw him cry, actually.
Yeah, I guess we did. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun this year. I think, you know, I always say, you know, being on a show, I think the biggest fear is kind of falling into a rut and feeling like you're doing the same thing over and over again. And I've experienced that before. And Jeff, our creator, has done a really great job of giving us new stuff to play with year to year. So playing a little bit more vulnerable side of Derek, finding a love interest and all that stuff. So it's been a lot of fun to explore different sides of a character that you've been playing for quite a bit of time already. It's always fun to find out new things yourself as the actor about the character. So.
I thought it was funny what you were telling me backstage, that he's never actually won a fight other than with Scott.
Never. Yeah, I lost like 3 fights to 3 different girls this year. I'm supposed to be like the big bad alpha, and that's not working out. My little brother likes to remind me of that every week when he watches the show, so we'll see. I don't know. Maybe he wants to come, who knows.
You're gonna have to work on that.
I'm gonna have to work. I have to long talk with Jeff about this. It's not a good image at all.
Well, what else can you tell us about what's in store for the rest of the season?
Just tying up a lot of loose ends. I think, you know, this season, more than before, there's a lot going on. There's different bad guys there for different reasons, and some of them right now aren't so clear, but I know in the next few episodes, there's a lot of revelations. The flashback episode that we have next week is great. A lot of questions that are answered about Derek.